When you think of studying in Singapore, the usual suspects pop up. NUS and NTU. Agreed, they are the titans. But what if I tell you that there's a university in Singapore that is specifically built to challenge the traditional way of learning? A university that doesn't just teach you engineering, but teaches you how to implement and change the world. Hello everyone, I'm Jayasuriya, founder of Project Ivy, a career counseling and admission consulting firm based out of India. Today we are talking about Singapore University of Technology and Design, in short SUTD. It's arguably the most unique college in Asia right now. Established in collaboration with the MIT in US, SUTD's vision is bold but simple, a better world by design. Today, we are decoding why this university stands out in the Asian higher education scene. So how is SUTD actually different? Think of NUS and NTU as comprehensive academic cities, offering everything from law to medicine to history, and they are massive universities with tens and thousands of students. SUTD is different. It's small, boutique, and specialized powerhouse. It doesn't do everything. It primarily focuses on the intersection of technology and design. For example, while traditional engineering schools teach you how to calculate the strength of a beam, SUTD teaches you to ask why is the beam there in the first place and how does it impact the human using the building. This brings me to their unique curriculum, which is built on what is called the outside-in approach. Instead of just looking at the textbooks, they look at the industry first. They ask what problems does the world have right now, and they reverse engineer the degree in order to build skills in their students so that they can build solutions. For example, in the Singapore Changi airport, you can see cute autonomous robots cleaning the floor, where they're constantly reading their environments and warning the bypasses. That is brainchild of SUTD students. Another great thing about SUTD is it completely embraces the biggest opportunity right now, artificial intelligence. Unlike other universities which are just slightly modifying their degree of computer science and calling them bachelors in AI, SUTD weaves AI, data science and coding into every single major. Whether you're studying architecture or systems engineering, you will graduate with a literacy. They call it design AI, using AI not as a tool but as a teammate. Now, coming to the curriculum structure, this is a part that Indian students and parents need to hear. At SUTD, you don't declare a major when you join. Everyone, and I mean every single student, goes through the same curriculum over the first 3 terms, which lasts about a year. You study the same foundation courses: maths, physics, humanities, and design thinking. This gives you the time to actually figure out what you like before you come in. The cherry on the top, the first semester is entirely grade free. It's a pass or fail. They want you to stop chasing marks and explore and discover your interests. Once you finish this Freshmore curriculum, you can choose one of their 5 unique majors, which SUTD calls pillars. These aren't your standard mechanical or civil engineering degrees. Listen to their names: ASD, Architecture and Sustainable Design. It's not just drawing buildings, but using data to build sustainable cities. Next is Engineering Product Development. This is for the inventors. You can design everything from consumer electronics to aerospace components. Engineering Systems and Design. This is huge in the current market. It deals with complex systems like supply chains, financial data, and aviation networks. Next is Information Systems, Technology and Design. Their version of computer science, but heavily integrated with hardware and software design. Last one is Design and Artificial Intelligence major, which is one of the newest and most futuristic majors, focusing specifically on how AI can automate and improve processes. Now let's talk about outside the classroom opportunity. First, industry exposure. Unlike many universities where internships are optional, at SUTD they're part of your curriculum. You are required to complete at least 16 weeks of internship to graduate. And there's the crown jewel, the capstone project. In your final year, you're not writing a thesis. You are put into a team which is a mix of coders, architects, and engineers. And you have to solve a real-world problem for a real company. Companies like Changi Airport Group, L'Oreal, Dyson sponsor these projects. They give you a problem that they can't solve and ask you to come up with a solution. And this isn't homework. It's your real-world task before you graduate. Second is global exposure. SUTD wants you to be a global citizen. Through their global exchange program, over 60% of students go abroad. You can also spend a term in a particular university in the US, Europe, or China. They also have summer program like FACT, Freshmore Asian cross-curricular trips, where you travel to learn about ASEAN cultures. And finally, what happens after the class? At SUTD, they don't call them clubs or extracurriculars. They call it the 5th row. Why? Because in a typical term, you take 4 academic subjects, and your 5th subject is your passion. Whether it's building electric race cars, joining a dance crew, or starting a business. Speaking of businesses, if you have a startup idea, SUTD is the place to be. Their entrepreneurship center provides incubation space and mentorship. In fact, SUTD graduates have founded Singapore's successful deep tech startups. Apart from these, they also offer special programs like their year-long research programs like SHARP or combined degree program like Duke NUS SUTD Special Track, which are all phenomenal opportunities to learn, grow, and build a social portfolio. Now, the big question: does this unique style of education pay off? Absolutely. According to the latest Graduate Employment Survey 2024, SUTD graduates have consistently gotten one of the highest starting salaries and employment rates in Singapore, often rivaling or beating their peers at NUS and NTU. Employers love them because they're not just proficient in theory, but they've spent 4 years in building actual solutions. Now let's talk about getting into SUT. Although it's not as competitive as NTU or NUS, it is pretty selective. For Indian students, here's what you need to know. You need good academic rigor, strong scores in 10th and 12th, at least 85% plus. They especially love high math and science scores. Coming to standardized testings, while this is not mandatory at all, if your academic grades are not that stellar, a good SAT or ACT score might boost your profile. Coming to portfolio, unlike other Singapore unis where marks are your gateway into the university, SUTD actually focuses more on your portfolio. Like, have you built an app, designed a robot, won a hackathon? Show it. Now finally, the interview. If you're shortlisted, there'll be an interview. Here, it's not a test of knowledge, but a test of thinking. They want to see how you approach problems and whether you can actually thrive in a collaborative environment. Now let's talk about money. For international students, the non-subsidized fee is upwards of 30 to 40,000 Singapore dollars, which is approximately 18 to 24 lakhs per annum. However, SUTD offers a tuition grant scheme. If you accept this grant, your fee drops by 50%, but you need to work for a Singaporean country for 3 years post-graduation. Now coming to the application period, they usually open in the month of December and close around February and March. Interviews happen on a rolling basis with final offers rolling out in June. So is SUTD right for you? If you want a traditional college experience with huge lecture halls and pure focus on theory, then maybe stick to NUS. But if you're the kid who took apart a remote control to see how it worked, if you want to build things that don't exist yet, and if you want a career that blends creativity with hardcore engineering, SUTD might just be your dream college. This is Jayasurya from Project Ivy. If you need any help crafting that perfect application or portfolio for SUTD or any other Singaporean university, you know where you can find us. See you in the next video.